Hello, good night, Palm Bay, and welcome to yet another interview on Palm Bay Live. With tonight, we're going to have in the house Jimmy Backus, and Jimmy is having some technical difficulties right now. He unfortunately his camera is not working, so we're gonna bring him on screen. And for those who are not aware, this is what Jimmy looks like. Hi, Jimmy, you there?
Yes, I am. You loud and clear.
Okay. Great. And I'm sorry you having a little bit of difficulties. So we can hear his audio, but we unfortunately is having some camera issues. And I do have an interview from prior that I will run over the weekend where I did an interview with Jimmy when he was running for a different seat. So I'll run that over the weekend for those who are not aware what he looks like. So he is having a little bit of a technical difficulties tonight. Unfortunately, we try to fix it behind the scenes, but it didn't work out to the best of the ability. But he can hear us, and we can hear him, and we're going to get this interview started because of the fact that right after this we have our C2 debates with Donnie Felix and Richard Mike Hammer. So we are going to be jumping right into the interview here with Jimmy. And so, Jimmy, I have a set of questions prepared for you, and we're going to make this work as best as possible. Audience, if you have questions, you can go ahead and plug them into the comments, and I'll bring them on screen. And so, Jimmy, welcome to the program. And so, go ahead, please, and introduce yourself to the audience.
Yes, audience. I want to apologize first on my camera. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite to get it work. But yes, my name is Jimmy Backus. I'm running for seat 5, which you all know about. I've worked on the budget analysis committee for Palm Bay, the DRC, and also the audit committee of Palm Bay. Um, I live in Palm Bay. I like it here. I enjoy it here. I enjoy the residents, the people that I've met here also. And Palm Bay is where I have chosen to retire, to lay down roots to assist the community and within the government of the community. And I'm ready to take on the questions that the citizens have.
Okay, Jimmy. So let's get into it. And again, audience, I apologize. He is having some technical issues, and we're gonna try to make this work as best as possible. And like I said, I have a prior interview with him where he was on camera, and I will try to run that over the weekend so everybody can see it. So Jimmy, we're gonna touch on some questions, and I can't ask you the range of questions I want to because of time, and I hope you understand that. Um, so Palm Bay has been growing so fast, and it's been clear that our infrastructure is struggling to keep up. We have gaps in roadways, utilities, public services all over the place. How do you plan to address these issues if you get on the dais? And since funding is always a challenge for us, what strategies do you have for making sure we have the resources to get this done?
One of the things to get the resources done is really to build the infrastructure, so we can change actually the finances that are coming into the city. I know right now the millage rate has dropped down to 6.7, which is good. It gives the residential people an opportunity to deal with some challenges that they're facing, so they're not hit with any more taxes. The plans that I would like to see implemented is to bring together a management team that we can draw corporations and companies here that will be effective to grow Palm Bay. I truly believe that's one of the major things that we need to deal with as Palm Bay is trying to catch up with the economy. Um, we need to slow things down just a little bit so that we can focus in on what direction the city is going in, and not just building here, building there, and in that process taking too long or things not getting finished.
Got you. So many residents are worried Jimmy, that Palm Bay's rapid growth, as we talked about, is happening without enough planning to ensure it's sustainable. So, how would you promote growth in a way that balance economic development with long-term sustainability?
To balance that growth, as I said before, first we need to bring things down to a slow. We need to build um, a marketing team to assist exactly what direction does Palm Bay, for those who are already on the dais, what direction do they want to go in? Not just the fact that they have a budget. I understand that they have a budget, but what are the plans that Palm Bay wants to go in? That has to be the first initial of anything. Having the money is one thing, but not having a direction is a completely different thing. And if we don't have that, then we're just going to build a hodge. Well, the city will just build a hodgepodge.
Gotcha. For those who are just joining us, again, Jimmy is having some technical difficulties, so I was able to bring him on the screen tonight. So we're trying to make this work as best as possible, and we'll be showing an interview that I did with him in prior years. That on put it on the screen so you guys can be able to see what he looks like. So let's talk about impact fees, Jimmy. I want to know your thoughts on impact fees with these new developments that are supposed to help pay for infrastructure improvements. They take a lot, but a lot of residents feel that these funds aren't being used effectively. What changes would you make to ensure that the developers contribute their fair share? And how would you make sure these funds are managed properly to actually benefit the community?
Um, we've got to impact fees. Hold companies, the developers responsible for what they're doing before we open the door to any more developing. And even if we got to come down off of our seats and inspect the factor, what are they doing? Not just bringing companies in to start building and not finishing the job. As I said before, this issue that Palm Bay is dealing with, it definitely starts with management, because you've got to hold people in accountability for what is going to take place. And that's
Mhm.
things I definitely planned on having, is advocating the force for the citizens, but dealing more directly with those that are on the dais, if elected. That's very important. So that, as I said before, we're not just building a hodgepodge. It's one thing, yeah, you brought down the millage rate, but what direction do they have to guide Palm Bay in?
Okay. Um, let's talk about public safety for a second. Palm Bay keeps growing, as you're aware, and a lot of people are worried about the rising crime rates, slow response time for emergency services. What specific steps would you take to ensure that Palm Bay doesn't lag where this is concerned, that we can actually keep pace with our growth in order to be able to manage better, provide effective, EMT services, fire services, police services to the community that we serve?
Well, one of the things we have to do is, and I know a lot of people might not agree, we have to take care of our police department, make sure that they are sufficient in their finances, because we don't want the police getting their training and to developing here, and then leaving and going to another city or another state, and also bringing the community in as well. And I truly believe that putting up signs where community watches are effective, because the police officers definitely do need, and the fire department need eyes and ears from the citizens of Palm Bay. I think it's going to be effective. And as you said before, yes, Palm Bay is growing, and we have to hire more police officers. We have to make sure that they're trained and they're developed and they're ready to face whatever they have to face. And that's something that Palm Bay has to really get down to, and not having just a few police officers, but making sure that there's a sufficient amount of police officers.
Okay. All right. So those for those who are just joining us, I'm interviewing Jimmy Backus. Jimmy Backus is running for Palm Bay City Council seat number 5, and he's running against a lot of different. I think that you have about 5 individuals that you're running against. Jimmy, am I right? I
I
think
think,
so.
yeah, it's
It's a
four.
large pool.
Yeah.
4? 4. Okay, so it's a large pool of guys, and I tried to get them into a debate stage, and it didn't work out because we couldn't agree on a proper time for this to happen. So I allowed it to interview them individually. Not all of them is going to be coming on. I have not heard from, I think, 2 of them. I will have probably about 2 more people to interview. I think I have to go back to my calendar, but I did make contact with some, and then some agreed, and I haven't heard from one yet to as whether or not he can make it to a solo interview. But again, a debate could not happen with all of them at the same time, so I opted to do individual interviews, and I'll talk more about that before the C2 debate later on tonight. There's been a growing concern, Jimmy, about how to keep kids off the streets and prevent them from getting involved in crime. Some have suggested that the city should work more closely with the school board and create programs and safe spaces that offer positive alternatives for the young folks. Do you think that this type of partnership could help reduce youth crime? And if so, what kinds of initiatives would you probably bring to the dais that would help? What do you want to see achieve, accomplish throughout your tenure?
Um, I truly believe that we need a YMCA. Something that I wrote is effective. Putting counselors in there to mentor young people. Young people have a different challenge than when I was young. And
Hmm.
right now, they need that guidance. They could get get the assistance, getting college students to come in and to assist, helping young people to develop mentally, emotionally, giving them a place where they can go in and get peace of mind from the challenges of life. And YMCA is definitely a good place to do so because it's more than just simply going in there playing basketball, uh, getting involved in games. The YMCA is about mentorship, leadership, and I think that right now is needed in Palm Bay. It's one of the things I believe that they need to go ahead and work into their budget because it will be an effective tool for this city of Palm Bay because as you said before, Palm Bay is growing. And the majority of crimes that are taking place right now is young people. And if we leave that door open, um, Palm Bay might end up paying for it in the long run.
Gotcha. All right. Economic development um, is obviously important to Palm Bay's future, but it can be just about retail shops and restaurants. Can it be, Jimmy? I don't think it can. What's your vision for diversity our economy, and what would you do to reduce the city's reliance on just residential taxes while still keeping Palm Bay's unique character intact?
I one of the things I said before is building a market routine so that so that we can bring a different type of financial structure into the city. That's one of the first things we got to do. Um, it's good that we have these smaller companies, which is a good thing. But I'm talking about long-term growth that will affect Palm Bay, their economy, which is what we need right now. Because
Right.
the taxes, you have a lot of car washing places, storage places, but the question is how many people can you employ with a small number of individuals?
Right, right, right.
It will not change the taxes. It will not change the GDP, and that's very important. That's the ultimate goal of building this marketing company and going after companies like Procter and Gamble, Coca-Cola,
Mhm.
Frito-Lay. You look at the warehouse that Publix built. that they have here. They employ almost over 1,000 people, and the lowest pay is about $25. You're talking about long-term growth.
Right. Okay. So those are great thoughts on that. What I've seen over time since living in Palm Bay, when I do travel at times and I go to places like Georgia, etc., and I'm coming back, I'll see those signs, big billboards, asking folks to come to Palm Bay, and I'm like, wait, what are these signs doing all the way up here? But I see them, and I also, in different play areas as well. So is really questionable as to whether or not those are being if they're very effective. I'm not sure, but I guess time will tell. Environmental sustainability is my next question for you. Or natural resources like the river, Indian River Lagoon, is something a lot of people care about. And so, how would you balance promoting environmental conservation with the need for economic growth in the city?
Oh man, that hard one is we have to take care of the lagoon. I know that the lagoon matters to a lot of people. It does matter to me.
Hmm.
I remember one time it was on news as things were floating up in the lagoon, trash, dirt, feces, and to leave that undone, leave it not being cared for, is not a good thing for the city. Um, and I'll say that that's one of the things that we need to work on, is making sure that that stays clean, where people can enjoy that natural part of Palm Bay.
Got you. All right, Jimmy. I need to. We like to hear your thoughts on housing affordability. Um, Housing affordability is becoming a serious issue here in Palm Bay, with prices going up and fewer affordable options for families. So, what policies or programs would you introduce to ensure there is enough affordable housing? And how would you make sure long term residents aren't priced out of their own city?
Making sure, first of all, that companies, the developers, are building homes
Hmm.
that are affordability. I think the average income house in Palm Bay right now is between uh, 60 and maybe 70. And that goes back to getting companies down here that would help develop Palm Bay, which is very important. That's one of the things we need to work on. Uh, One thing about the growth of the economy is going to continue to grow. The question is what can we do about it, where people are not being affected? They're not getting hit by the taxes. And the only thing I can say about that is making sure that if the city needs to ask for financial assistance, then those that are in that position needs to get it, so that even as the city growing, the residents are not being hit with the finance taxes of the growth. Every time the city grow, taxes are being laid on the city, and it comes down to the residential people. That there is the problem.
Okay. Thanks for your response. Um, Jimmy, let me ask you in a nutshell. I have a long prepared question on the compound. That you know the issues surrounding the compound. The residents know the issues surrounding the compound. What would you do about the compound situation?
You know, the compound. I would use that land for the compound to attract companies. I know people like to ride their bikes out there.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the compound has become a breathing ground for crime and criminals. Um, I would use the compound land for companies, building that marketing company, giving companies a tax break, an incentive to come here to Palm Bay to build. As for finance,
Mhm.
because we can't leave the compound um, unprotected, and unfortunately, there's a lot of things that go on in the compound. I remember a year ago, I think it was a year ago, a young man was killed there. Other crimes have been taking place there. So we definitely need to look at the compound and to build some infrastructure there.
Yeah. Um, the I think there was some ideas of putting some kind of park out there one time. I don't know if those are dead in the water or not, but yeah, something definitely needs to be done, and more to come on that. But um, let's talk about accountability and transparency. And audience, you can you can ask questions if you like. We have a couple of minutes left of this interview before we switch to the debate. So if you like, you can place your comments in the comment section, and we will entertain it. Okay. Let's talk about transparency. So there has been a push for better financial management in Palm Bay. Do you think we need to re-implement the budget oversight committee, and who do you think should be approved to be on that committee? Should we have members of as was implied in one of the council meetings with financial backgrounds or accounting backgrounds? Jimmy, did I lose you? I think I lost him. Um, okay, I think I lost him. He's been having technical issues, folks. Let's see.
Now?
Jimmy, are you there?
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I think we have to put someone there that has accountability. One thing about hiring, putting people on the dais that doesn't have any connection to Palm Bay is very important, because you want an open mind individual who are able to see the problems and to deal with the issues with integrity, with honesty. That's very important, because without that,
Wait, did I hear it correctly? Are you suggesting members, residents that are individuals who are not residents of Palm Bay, or?
no, people that are residents of Palm Bay.
Okay, okay. I want to make sure. All right. And should they? The question was more along the line: should they have financial background or accounting background?
They should. It's good to have some type of management leadership that you have been aware of. You
Okay.
can't just take a person who says, "Okay, I've been in Palm Bay for years,
Hmm.
put me up there." You want the individual to have some knowledge what it means to oversight, look at finances, and to being able to delegate that type of authority.
Okay, got you. All right. All right. Um, should they have any degrees or anything like that? What are your thoughts on that?
If they do have any degrees, that's great. But experience is one of the crucial parts of life. If they have a lot of experience, that would be a definitely plus for them. Um, I could see that having a degree is good, but having that experience, having that knowledge of what you're about to take in, that's the main thing that I'm concerned about.
Okay, and so one of the things I'm going to interject here is one of the things why I think I heard it was abolished at one point in time. I think I've heard it somewhere that there was talks that it was being politicized. The committee was going to lean in a different way from everything, what their whole intended purpose is. What are your thoughts on that?
No, say that again. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was hearing at some point that the committee that was there before it was abolished, at some point I think they were at least saying that it was very politicized. It wasn't, became coming very partisan. What are your thoughts on that?
I'll put it this way: when I was on the budget advisory committee, um, I don't know why they
Mhm,
cut it off. I just got a note in the mail, because I think I was up there for about at least about a good 8 months, and
mhm.
They said that we're going to dissolve that. Why they did it, I never got the answer.
Okay, so you didn't get a clear response on that.
I did
Okay,
not.
okay, I got you. All right. Um, let's talk about road maintenance. Okay. Traffic, traffic in Palm Bay right now because of our growth is becoming unrealistic for some folks who are traveling to work in the mornings and coming home at nights. Um, how would you decide which roads would you need to work on to ensure that we have a safe commute for our residents back and forth to work? And how would you do with the road widening projects and that kind of thing? What kind of ideas would you bring to the table to ensure that our residents can have safe commutes, and also the areas that are mostly congested are taken care of, so we can have a faster commute to work and to our places of destination?
I'll put it this way: places that are congested, we need to be aware of building businesses, certain type of businesses in their areas where it's going to pull traffic more in congested areas. Palm Bay is it's one thing we need to be focused about. I know a lot of people might don't want to talk about it. Palm Bay is in that position right now where growth is important to them, but we still need to take care and make sure that if we need to enlarge roads, if we need to add some roads to it, even put back the measure where you see the roads that don't have enough space needs to be dealt with.
Okay. All right. I didn't realize you were finished with your answer. Sorry, 1 second. Let's keep going. And fiscal responsibility. With all the growth comes, I lost you again. Let's see if we can get him back. He's been having issues all night.
Yes,
All right.
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. All right. With all the growth comes higher demands and Palm Bay's budget. How would you keep the city's physically responsible, avoid deficits, and still fund critical services like infrastructure and public safety? And what are your thoughts on providing more tax relief for homeowners given the financial pressure a lot of families are feeling?
It's like it's like the water and sewage thing, which they want everybody to hook up. I
Mhm.
brought this to one of the meetings and asked him, well, why not over a 2 or 3 year period, giving people a tax break, especially when it comes down to the elders, and I mean to the younger people also. But most of the new homes are being developed where they don't need that sewage hookup. But a lot of these homes are still old in Palm Bay. They need that tax break. I think that
Mhm.
needs to be added where residents are not feeling the weight of that as much.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. All right. Jimmy, we have to wind down because we have to get ready for the debates here, and I need to meet with the individuals that are debating, so we can go over some stuff with them. But let me ask you a closing question. Um, what do you think is the most challenging thing right now for the city of Palm Bay, and how would you try to implement things to help fix it? Your thoughts on what you believe is the most challenging thing right now for City of Palm Bay?
oh man, it's actually, I can't say it's one thing. It's many things, and one of the main things is that having smart growth is crucial, important. Um, I know that one time, Palm Bay, those who were here for many of years wanted Palm Bay to be a bed and breakfast state. Unfortunately, it will not happen. And as Palm Bay grows up and as Palm Bay develops, as it grows and as it develops, it's very important to me to have a strategy and a plan not to put the weight of tax burdens on the citizens as Palm Bay is growing. Every new development, I know that most residents want to see Palm Bay grow and develop, but they don't want to see it grow and develop at the expense of maybe losing their house
Mhm.
because of so many taxes, not being able to buy groceries, not being able to take care of daily responsibilities.
Okay. All right, Jimmy, I'm going to give you your opportunity to give some closing thoughts. Tell the residents why they should vote for you, and again, I'm promise you, I will run a video of a prior interview that I have. I'll look for the most recent one, and run it so folks can get to actually see what you look like over the weekend, and then hopefully before the election, I can bring you back for even for like 10 minutes to kind of rally everyone to vote for you as again. And so we have you on video. So go ahead, tell the folks why they should vote for you, and etc.
First, I want to thank you, Kevin, for being patient um, with my computer. One of the things I would definitely say, I know that I'm the man for the job. Focus. I've been involved in the city on the budget advisory, the disaster relief, and also the audit. These are very important issues to me as Palm Bay grows and be a part of that growth, um, so that I can assist and advocate the voice of the citizens here in Palm Bay. One thing about me, I paid for my campaign myself. I have not gotten any contributions from developers or builders, which is very important to me, so that the people will know that I'm for them, and I'm not seeking the position for titles nor accolades, but to be that advocator person that their voice may be heard by those that are on the dais.
Okay, Jimmy, thank you so much. I mean, I'm again, audience. I apologize on behalf of Jimmy for his technical issues that he had with his, you know, his computer not working accordingly. So but we have him on audio. And again, I do make a promise. I'm gonna make sure that over the weekend I run a video of his prior interview that he had with me. I think I interviewed you twice. I think this is the third time I interviewed you, right, Jimmy? I think.
It is, and I
Yeah,
definitely, if you want to set that up again so that we can do the interview, like you said, before the elections, I do agree
yeah,
with you.
yeah. I will definitely try to get you back because I will explain some more here in a minute when I start the debates here in about 8 minutes to the audience. But I'm getting ready, uh, Palm Bay, to do the C2 debates, and I'll be a moderator for that one. Just refresh your screen. Once I go live, you'll see it. It will start here at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. It'll run for 1 hour, and I promise you, I'll be done by 9 o'clock, so you can go watch your VP debates. I know a lot of folks have questioned me about that. Kevin, will I be able to, will I be okay to be, see the VP debates? And I'm like, yes, but I'll be done by then. I promise you, I'll make sure I'm done by then, so you can tune in. I think it starts at 9 p.m. So you will have enough time. And let me see something here. I think I see a comment. Uh, all right. And so Ryan just made a comment that says, well, good to know. Thank you, Mr. Backus, for sharing that he paid for his own campaign. Okay. Um, so you had one comment from one audience member. Okay, folks, again, refresh your screen. I will be starting here in 7 minutes. Jimmy, thanks for reaching out. I will be reaching out to you. I'll call you and set up a time frame where we can do an impromptu interview really fast to make sure the audience is acquainted with you much better when you have your computer fixed. Okay.
All right, thank you, Kevin. You have a nice night.
All right. You too. And make sure you tune into the C2 debates if you can.
Oh, absolutely,
All righty.
absolutely.
All righty. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, bye now.
Bye bye. Have a good night, Palm. Well, not a good night, but I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Talk to you.